Hey, what's up everybody? Ed the Pond Professor here. I am coming to you from my home in Sugar Grove. Got my truck and I'm heading out. The Hobbit House waterfall is looking insane. I wish I could stick around and finish all those little details, but it's gonna have to wait till I get back because I'm going to Shaq's. So I'm going to hook up with Brian, Chris, and Nick. We are driving south. We got a bigger Suzu truck. We got a bunch of tools. We got equipment to do this incredible build. So stay tuned for this one. It is gonna be insane. We are at Shaquille O'Neal's place, just getting ready to kind of do some of the design work initially. So we have a whole team of us coming out. It's our first time here on the property. We're gonna go check out the location, which is going right over by the tree house that Treehouse Masters actually put in here not too long ago. All right, check this out. Just seeing the site for the first time. We got Joey, we got Nick, we got Brian, we have Chris, we have the pond guy. Also have Caterpillar here. So we are all coming together to do an incredible feature right here at Shaq's place, here outside of Atlanta. It's got this big long driveway coming up, and right off on the side we are going to be greeted with this incredible water feature. So that is the signature piece right there. That was done by Treehouse Masters. Pete himself was out here doing an incredible feature, and we want this new water feature to kind of grace this entire space. As we all know, water is a critical component to any well-designed landscape. So the challenge that we have as designers is we have to work with the site. So we come up with an initial plan, then once we get on the site, we are going to make modifications to it, which is what we're here for tonight, because tomorrow, once the machines get here from Caterpillar, it's going to be game on. We will probably get a lot of rain here over the next few days, but I know one thing for sure, this will be running by the end of the week. See, as you come up this driveway, you have the grand entrance, the drive-through over here to the other parking areas. We want to grab everybody's attention. So instead of tucking everything way off into the side, we want to try to put it into a location where it's highly visible. And one of those locations is right outside that window right there. So you got that big viewing area. If we can put something here that grabs everybody's attention and then leads their eye over to this area, it will be much more aesthetically pleasing. So that's what we're trying to focus on right now. What are you thinking, Chris?
We have an incredible amount of work to get done in 3 or 3.5 days, but I feel very confident about that. I'm excited, man. This is pretty awesome.
All right, we know we are in the right spot because that is our CAT equipment showing up on the job site today. We're going to be able to kick this thing off and start excavation right away once we get everything laid out. There's our other machine. We got a big one and a medium. Both these pieces of equipment super versatile. So we're going to have a lot of chaos happening here as usual. Looking forward to a great build today. Excavation, getting ready to go. Everything's laid out. Jack's gonna start excavating. So the key to a successful project, obviously lining up the right personnel to pull the project off. We have Master CACs and Artists of the Year to help on this project. We also have an incredible relationship with Caterpillar. So we have some good CAT equipment out here. The CAT 308 will excavate this out very quickly. We're looking at probably our maximum depth of about 36 inches. So our goal today is get the excavation, get the lining, get all the other pond equipment set up. So when the stone arrives, we could actually start setting stone quickly. So it will be chaotic, it's gonna be busy, it's gonna be fun. Hey! Excavation is nearly complete. Went really quick actually with the two machines. We have our intake bay done. Remember what the intake bay is. We've done a lot of different videos on this. So this is the pre-filter. So this is gonna house the aqua blocks. This is gonna house the pump vaults and everything. So it's gonna create a skimming action. It's basically a large customized skimmer system. The reason that we're doing this versus a small skimmer is because of the abundance of trees. So with all the leaf debris that potentially is gonna be coming down here, we wanna be able to sweep that off. The other thing that we're working on right now from a structural standpoint, you can see see the guys are hand digging out a little bit of a trench along this back edge. There's going to be a manufactured block wall system that's going to go in there. So that's going to be for the base material. We'll come in with our geotextile. We'll put in our rubber liner, another layer of the geotextile, and then on top of that in the trench, we'll be able to put our base material that'll allow us to level everything out as well as change the elevations as necessary. Tomorrow, all of our boulders show up. So when the boulders show up, we'll be able to come in here and we'll be able to start doing all of that stonework all the way around as we work our way all the way up to the top. All that soil has been moved. So whenever we're on a job site, especially on a job of this scale, we want to try to utilize the soil as much as possible. So site balancing, you're going to take all your excavated soil, you're going to create a series of berms, you're going to change elevations, you're going to accentuate the existing elevations that are here. So when you look at this property here, you can see we have a pretty good slope from one end coming all the way down. All this is pitched. So instead of this dropping away, we're leveling all this out. We're going to put in our stacked slate spheres, and then we'll be able to have all that beautiful water cascading down that hillside. As Shaq comes home, he's going to be coming up. He's going to be looking directly at the house, and we want to have that waterfall visible. So stacked slate urn, waterfall coming down into view, and then twisting its way down towards the pond. And then over on the back side of the pond, we have that beautiful tree house. This is water the way nature intended it. It's going to be natural. We're going to have aquatic plants, we're going to have fish, we're going to have microorganisms, all of these different things working together to create this beautiful masterpiece for Shaq. All right, Joey's grading out the area where the patio is going to be. That's going to tie into that beautiful fire pit, which is going to be right on the edge of the pond. Excavation is basically 100% done. And you know what? It is perfect timing because pond guy just showed up. We have all of our pond equipment now. We then could start putting in our fabric, our liner. We could start doing the wall over here where the fire pit's going to be located. We're going to start making progress here. Pond materials are here. We got our fabric in place. We got the rubber liner in place. We have to make a seam over here. So we knew we were gonna have to do this, but the problem is it is starting to rain on us. So we cannot do a seam in the rain. You guys are putting in the bedding material for the block, which is gonna be good to get all of that stuff done today. That way tomorrow we can focus on all the boulders. So to keep progress moving along, we are excavating out the main filter right now. This is going to be the main filter for the pond. So this is an extremely important part. It has to be used in conjunction with the pre-filter. So that's what makes this actually very, very efficient. So you want to make sure you're pre-filtering all the water first to keep a lot of the sediment and organic compounds out of the water. Then you could actually have a very successful biological filter system. Alan and Nick over on this side, they are working on the piping. So that's going to be coming from the intake bay. It's going to be distributed to the appropriate locations, to the stacked slate spheres, wetland filter, etc. We are back at Shaq's place. We have a lot of stuff happening here. It's a rainy morning, unfortunately, but we got to get the project done. Our rocks just arrived. We have a lot of activity happening over here in the background. Let me give you a quick update. We have a good mixture of stone. We got Bernie bringing in the rock right now. But what I want to stress today is we have a set way of doing things. So whenever we're designing and building a feature, we have a systematic way of looking at everything that we do. And that increases our efficiency, allowing us to take more time on the detail type work, on the beaches, on the stone walls, on the fire pit, on all that artistry, versus we don't have to worry about the functionality of it. All that has been taken care of. So what we're trying to do right now is to try to get ahead of the game. We are talking about rain all day long, so we're going to have teams of people strapping rocks, other teams down on the bottom setting those stones, guys finishing up walls. We have jets going in, and we're going to try to focus on the pond to get that done, because as soon as our gravel comes, we want to wash this whole thing down and get it all cleaned out. Yesterday we started filling these tanks up here with water. That's going to give us a lot of volume and velocity to help clean things out. It has been raining all day long, but check out all the progress we got. We've been struggling. You can see nasty mud, but we were able to get rock in here. We made some incredible progress. Guys are finishing up doing some of the details on the walls over here. So we got some of the bigger river stone. Now what we're gonna do is we have another truckload coming in with some of the smaller river rock. We have the wetland filled in. Remember those wetlands. What we do is we put in a series of layers. The snorkel centipede, small aqua blocks for water distribution and sedimentation. Then we come in with the layers of the large river rock and then smaller river rock on top of that. So we're rinsing it all down. We're gonna pump that dirty water out and then we'll be ready for the next layer of that smaller river stone. Thankfully yesterday we were able to do all of our seaming. All of this freshly excavated soil is just turning to slop on us. We are working our way up now from the bottom. We gotta work on the intake bay. Everything is finally starting to take shape. Actually, amazingly quick. For a pound of this size, in these conditions, Chris is doing his final touches here on the wall. We got jets going through it. He's got lights going in. Brian is wrapping up the intake bay, strapping the rocks and moving them himself. Quite impressive. We have all the gravel down on the bottom. That all has to be washed down. We still need to do the beach over on the far end. John dropped in a really cool cedar log there in between that's going to have some carnivorous plants. They are working on the gas fire pit right now. And then up on top, the stack slate spheres, the wetland filter, waterfall, and all that stuff is wrapped up. We still have muck and mud that we're dealing with right now. But again, that's the nature of a construction site. It is a lot of sloppy mess here this morning. We worked last night until 11 p.m. We had the lights out. We got terrible conditions. We had some of the stuff didn't arrive, just bad shipping, and it's because it was over a holiday. The reason I'm talking about all this stuff is because when we are designing things, we try to have a systematic way of doing it. We're not coming up with really customized items. We're not looking for really weird, funky things. We're putting together a same series of products to make everything work. But there are still always other challenges, which is more the reason why you want to have a systematic way of doing all these things. Because if you don't, then a project like this is going to take 10 times longer instead of double the time. So let me give you a quick walkthrough. We have a ton of cleanup that we have to do. Trying to finish up everything inside of here, putting down the gravel, running electric for the lights, foaming things up, putting in the logs, finishing the details on the walls. The only thing that we still have left for a major piece of the pond is we have this area here, which is the beach. Our wetland filter, which we were able to complete yesterday, put in that main waterfall using those big giant pieces of stone. We also have the stack slate spheres up here on top. That really neat old cedar stump right there. That'll just create a beautiful effect with those spheres over in the background, blending a little bit of that architectural element with the natural, the walls and all that stuff down in the pond. So it's kind of tying all that stuff together, and that's just because of the architecture of the home. You can see he's got some of these nice walls, so we're trying to take advantage of that and blend all of it together. Quick little project update. Just started rinsing everything down. Remember I said we had some of those tanks filled with water, so we are using that water to drain everything down. We will also be using some rapid clear. It's a flocculant to help clear up some of this water when it's initially put in. Jets. So we have a big 3-inch line coming over. That's going to be split into multiple 2-inch lines. Those 2-inch lines go down to 1-inch lines, and then those are going to be discharged around the perimeter. So a quick rule of thumb, for a 1-inch line, I'm usually between 750 and 1,000 gallons of water per hour per jet. So we can play around with different configurations of that. You can see right behind Brian over here in that wall, beautiful wall work has been done. We got the lights are set in there, as well as some of those jets in the walls. And then we have other locations where jets are being discharged. And the whole thing again is circulation. I can't stress it enough. Circulation is key. So we have waterfalls coming in, we have proper aeration, we have good flow going through everything into one central location. We have all of our pumps located in that one specific area. That's going to allow for ease of maintenance maintenance, but it's going to ensure that we have the good flow going through everything. That we're starting to connect the two systems together now. We are going to get more stone to get in some retaining walls, and then we can get proper drainage going around. So I don't mind rainwater coming in, but sometimes it could be too much. It could overwhelm the system. Well, I tell you what, there is nothing like overcoming challenges to make a project all the more sweeter. This looks unbelievable, and we persevered. We made it happen. Everybody came together. The group of CACs is phenomenal. Doing the final finishing touches, we ran out a little bit of that crushed gravel, and that's that finishing stuff. So it's a beautiful, nice slate material that's gonna top dress everything. We're putting in the edging. Then after that, what we're doing is we're gonna wait on a hydro seeding company. They're gonna kind of dress everything up, get some seed in here so we can have that beautiful green, lush look kind of rolling itself through everything. And then in between all that, we have all of our rock work. We have the mulch beds, planting beds, all that beautiful sandstone and incredible rock from Semco. The CAT equipment was phenomenal out here. It has been an incredible project as always, working with the Artists of the Year, Master CACs that came in from around the country. I tell you what, by working with this team, we're able to pull this stuff off. We have a good way of doing and looking at everything, and that's how it makes our job a lot easier. Remember, creating water features the way nature intended it. This has been a phenomenal project. I can't wait to see what this looks like. When the water clears up, the fish get in here. Can't wait to come back to Atlanta.